I want to tell you about a conversation I had recently. I asked 50 retirees one simple question. When did you claim Social Security? And why? The answers were almost identical. Nearly every single one of them said the same thing. I claimed early because I wanted to get my money while I could. I claimed early because I wasn't sure Social Security would even exist later. I claimed early because someone told me the break-even math doesn't work out. And then I asked them one more question. Knowing what you know now, would you make the same decision? Most of them said no. And some of them, when they did the math sitting right there in front of me, got very quiet. Because the difference between claiming Social Security at 62 versus waiting until 70 is not a small number. For many Americans, it is a six-figure decision. And most people make it based on a gut feeling, a rumor, or advice from someone who had no idea what they were talking about. Today, we're going to show you the actual math, not the simplified version, not the version that makes one answer look obvious, the real numbers, so you can make this decision with your eyes wide open. Stay with us. Welcome back to Medicare Exposed. We cover Medicare and Social Security every single week, the decisions that follow you for the rest of your retirement. No commissions, no agenda, just the truth. If you're new here, hit subscribe right now, because this video alone could be worth tens of thousands of dollars to you. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about what Social Security timing actually means. You become eligible to claim Social Security retirement benefits as early as age 62. But your full retirement age, the age at which you receive your full benefit, is either 66 or 67, depending on when you were born. And you can delay claiming all the way until age 70, at which point your benefit stops growing and there is no additional advantage to waiting longer. So the decision is this. Do you claim early at 62 and get a smaller check for more years? Do you claim at your full retirement age and get your full benefit? Or do you delay until 70 and get a significantly larger check for fewer years? There is no universally correct answer. But there is a way to think about it clearly, and almost nobody does. Let's run the actual numbers. And I want you to pay close attention here, because this is where most videos get lazy and just tell you to wait. We're not going to do that. Let's say your full retirement age benefit, the amount you'd receive if you claimed right at full retirement age, is $2,000 per month. That's a reasonable middle ground figure for illustration. Here's what happens to that number depending on when you claim. If you claim at 62, 5 years early, your benefit is permanently reduced by approximately 30%. That brings your monthly check down to $1,400 every month for the rest of your life. If you claim at your full retirement age, you receive the full $2,000 per month. If you delay until 70, your benefit grows by 8% for every year you wait past full retirement age. That's up to 24% to 32% more, depending on your exact full retirement age. On our $2,000 example, delaying to 70 could bring your monthly benefit to approximately $2,480 or more every month for the rest of your life. Now let's put those three numbers side by side. Claim at 62, $1,400 per month. Claim at full retirement age, $2,000 per month. Claim at 70, $2,480 per month. That is a difference of $1,080 per month between the earliest and latest claiming ages. Over a 20-year retirement, that gap is $259,200. Over 25 years, it's $324,000. Let that number sit for a second. Now here's where people get tripped up. They hear that number and they think, obviously I should wait until 70. But it's not that simple. Because if you claim at 62, you're getting checks for 8 more years than the person who waits until 70. That's 8 years of $1,400 per month. That's $134,400 collected before the person who waited even starts receiving a single payment. So the real question isn't which monthly payment is bigger. The real question is, when do you break even? The break-even point is the age at which the person who waited has collected enough in larger payments to catch up with the person who claimed early. Here's how the math works in our example. The person who waited until 70 collects $1,080 more per month than the person who claimed at 62. The person who claimed at 62 has an $134,400 head start. Divide $134,400 by 1 through 80. That's 124 months, roughly 10.5 years, which means the break-even age, in this example, is approximately 80.5 years old. If you live past 80.5, the person who waited until 70 comes out ahead. If you don't, the person who claimed at 62 collected more total lifetime dollars. This is the calculation most people never do. And it's the reason there is no single right answer. Pause here for a second, because this is critical. The break-even calculation assumes you don't invest the early payments. If you claim at 62 and invest those payments, the math changes. If you claim at 62 and spend every dollar immediately, the math changes in the other direction. Your personal break-even point depends on your health, your life expectancy, your other income sources, your investment habits, and your specific benefit amount. Anyone who tells you there's one right answer for everyone is either oversimplifying or selling something. Now let's talk about the scenarios where claiming early actually makes sense, because nobody on YouTube talks about this, and they should. Scenario 1. You have serious health issues that may impact your life expectancy. If your family history and personal health suggest you may not reach your mid to late 70s, the break-even math shifts dramatically in favor of claiming earlier. Collecting a smaller check for more years may result in more total lifetime income. Scenario 2. You desperately need the income right now. If you retire at 62 with no other income source and no savings to bridge the gap, waiting until 70 while living on nothing is not a realistic option. A smaller Social Security check is infinitely better than no check at all. Scenario 3. Your spouse has a significantly higher benefit than you. If your benefit is the lower of the two in your household, there can be a strategic advantage to claiming your lower benefit early while your higher earning spouse delays, maximizing the larger benefit that will continue as a survivor benefit after one of you passes. This spousal strategy alone is worth an entire video, and we will cover it in detail very soon. Now let's talk about the scenarios where waiting is clearly the right move. Scenario 1. You are in good health with a family history of longevity. If your parents and grandparents routinely lived into their late 80s or 90s, the break-even math works heavily in favor of waiting. More years past 80 means more years of collecting that larger payment. Scenario 2. You have other income to live on between 62 and 70, a pension, a 401k, rental income, a spouse still working. If you can cover your living expenses without Social Security, every year you wait between full retirement age and 70 grows your benefit by 8%. There is no guaranteed investment on the planet that returns 8% risk-free. Delaying Social Security is quite literally the best guaranteed return available to most retirees. Scenario 3. You are single with no survivors who depend on your benefit. Without a spouse or dependents relying on your check, the only person this decision affects is you. And if you're healthy and have longevity on your side, maximizing your own monthly income for as long as possible is almost always the right call. Here is the honest bottom line. The Social Security timing decision is not about greed. It's not about gaming the system. It's about understanding the math and making the choice that aligns with your specific life, your specific health, and your specific financial situation. The people who regret claiming early are almost always the ones who made the decision based on fear. Fear that Social Security would run out. Fear that they'd die before collecting enough. Fear driven by headlines and rumors rather than actual math. We are not going to let that happen to you. Before you make this decision, run your numbers, go to SSA.gov and use their retirement estimator tool. Put in your actual expected benefit at 62, at your full retirement age, and at 70. Then calculate your personal break-even age. Then look honestly at your health, your finances, and your family history. And make the decision with data, not fear. Next week we're covering something that directly connects to this decision. How Social Security and Medicare premiums interact, and why claiming Social Security at the wrong time can actually increase what you pay for Medicare every single month. It is one of the most overlooked traps in all of retirement planning, and we're exposing it completely. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. We'll see you there.